the amazing, the one, the only Norma T. Hollis.
Well, good evening, everyone. And this is a question for you to ponder this evening. To be or not to be authentic. What is your choice? You know, authenticity is something that I studied for 30 years, as Connie mentioned. And it started when I was a child at the age of 8 and woke up one morning with a violent earache. To the doctor we rushed with lightning speed to be told my ear would always be. It seems a cold started in my nose, traveled through a weak tube to crust on my earlobe, creating a hole in my middle ear drum as my authenticity journey was then begun. You see, at the age of 8, I had this hole in my eardrum, and the only way it could be treated was by putting a topical solution on my ear. Now, I saw some of you cringe when I said that, and it was more than a cringe for me at 8 years old to have that level of pain. And what that caused me to do is look at the adults in my life and wonder, why was it that they couldn't quite get to helping me deal with this pain? And I began to understand later, as I got older, that it was, work and money and mortgages and all the things that distract us adults as we go through life. And I began to see it again later in life as I directed child care programs and I had employees, and I wondered why some of them were so motivated to help these young preschool babies, and others was like, it's just a job. And then a few decades later, as I was training speakers, as I've done for the last 14 years, I meet people that say, I want to be a professional speaker. And I say, okay, let me hear you speak. And they stand up and they start to speak just like somebody, any name you want to mention. And I say to them, speaking is about being authentic, about being who you are, about living the message that's within you, not trying to modify somebody else, because you can't be someone else. You can only be yourself. And I began to understand that all the years that I was working in Head Start and dealing with my ear issues and working with speakers, I was constantly writing. Actually, what was happening is I was having something channeled through me. I didn't understand what it was at the time, and every time I'd meet somebody, I'd say, do you know what this is? I wrote this. Do you know what it is? And it was volumes and volumes and volumes of writing. And I later began to understand that what I wrote was a whole system to help people become more authentic, to live their lives more authentically. So what I usually do in a full day program, I'm going to do in the next 7 minutes or so that I have left, and share with you what the concepts are of authenticity that I've uncovered. And I also would like to invite you to come to my free live event, which will be held June 26th at the Doubletree LAX. You can give me your information. You can sign my email list or give me your card. I will send you information to invite you so you can get the whole program. But authenticity is all about being who you are, because there's only one authentic you. And what was channeled through me was this system of understanding the dimensions of authenticity, which is about finding your authentic voice, the voice that lives within you. Everyone, every one of you I know has something within you that's constantly knocking and telling you, this is what you're supposed to do with your life, whether you're doing it or not. And usually when you're not, it knocks even harder. And so as I give you these 9 dimensions, I want you to think about where you are in this. I have a whole assessment that I'll give you on the 26th that gives you a score to let you know how authentically you are living your life. So the 9 dimensions are based on what I call 3 domains. And the domains are your inner voice, your outer voice, and your expressive voice. You have 3 voices in you. The voice that lives within is always knocking and talking to you. That's your inner voice. The outer voice is what we see when we look at each other and the assumptions we make by how we come across and how we show up. And the expressive voice is what we do with ourselves, who we have become, how we put that together to live our lives day to day. Now, the inner voice has 3 dimensions to it. Number 1 is intuition, the degree to which you listen to that voice and trust it. We all hear it, but do you allow yourself to trust it, and then do you follow it? The second one is integrity. Do you know what your values are? Do you know your beliefs? And then do you live them? Or do you allow them to guide you? Do you allow other people to take you away from your integrity? To what degree do you actually live your integrity? And the third one is inspiration. To what degree are you inspired versus motivated? Now, we may motivate you tonight, but no matter how much we motivate you, it's up to you to inspire yourself to do something about what you're motivated toward. Because nothing happens for you unless you inspire yourself to move forward. So the three dimensions of your inner voice are intuition, integrity, and inspiration. Now your outer voice, the three dimensions of outer voice are first net wellness. Now net wellness is really important because people make a judgment about you when they see you and they make an assumption about how well you're living your life. Now, as Connie mentioned, starch and starch don't go together. Too much starch and starch gives you a net wellness perspective that may not be as healthy as you may like it to be. What about your other issues with net wellness? You know, for me, I have a family that has a history of digestive cancers. So I've had to change my diet to deal with that. And then I just recently found out I had kidney stones for 2 months, and that was really a challenge. I had to change my diet again. So my net wellness needs change as my body changes, as my life changes. What are your net wellness needs? How do you address the needs of your body to keep yourself as healthy and energetic as possible? What we want is energy and longevity, and you can get that if you take care of your net wellness needs. Next one is network, the center of the spoke, the people that are around you, your quality and quantity of relationships. Who are the people who are around you, and what do they say about you? What do others make assumptions about you based on who you are around? And the final one under the outer voice is net wealth. Now, I don't mean money. I'm talking about abundance and joy. The things in life that bring you joy and abundance, not just money, although money's a part of it. But I know a lot of people that have money, but they're not joyful. They're not happy. Abundance comes from more than just money. So those are the things that are your outer voice, your net wellness, your network, and your net wealth. And then your expressive voice, how you express yourself day to day. And the first one of those is legacy. And by legacy, I'm talking about gifts and talents. The ones you were born with. What are the natural gifts and talents you were born with? What are you doing with them? How are you using them in your life? Your authenticity, your joy comes a lot when you actually do and are who it is you were born to be. And that's by using your gifts and talents in an effective way. The second one is likability, your personality. You know, you can tweak your personality and show your best self. People usually are attracted to other people who are kind and who are generous. And so you each have a best part of yourself. How are you using it? What's your likability factor? And finally, your lifestyle. What do you do on a day-to-day basis? What are your habits? How can you tweak your habits to create a more authentic and effective life? Those 9 dimensions we spend all day going through at our live, full-day live event. You get a chance to look at where you're at in living your life authentically. Authenticity begins with the inner voice. You have to be able to listen to that voice that speaks within you, that authentic voice that guides and directs you day by day by day. It's really important. So I ask you to be or not to be authentic. What do you choose? I'm going to close with that because I don't want Connie to tell me your time is up before it's time. And I would be happy to talk with you later. I have a whole program where I coach people across the country to live more authentically. I have calls with them every Tuesday night, and we all share information and become more authentic ourselves. I also have a number of what I call platinum proteges, also from across the country. You'll meet some of them on the 26th. They will be presenting. And what they do is I teach them to deliver as I'm delivering and share their story and blend their story into my authenticity program. It's a fabulous program. People tell me that it causes them to gain more clarity and confirmation. And I would be more than happy to assist you to gain and improve your authenticity. So I hope to see you on the 26th. To be or not to be authentic, what is your answer? Thank you.